you may not go very far, and South Carolina is glad to have her on both sides as a teammate and as one heck of a basketball player.
It's going to be interesting to see how Texas A&M goes about trying to slow down a player like Aaliyah Boston.
And there's Aaliyah Boston. You can't miss her with the blue braids, number 4 in that white jersey for South Carolina, right to the bucket. And how fitting. We start with the points from Aaliyah Boston.
Post patience, the composure she has.
Texas A&M starting 5. They have been hit by COVID, missing several players for different games. They will not have Destiny Pitts or Sahara Jones available in this game tonight due to COVID protocols. And really, you need everybody when you play a team like South Carolina.
You definitely do, and it's important too. Gary Blair told us he's going to go deep into his bench because he needs that size. We're going to see Perry come in. We're going to see Jones. You're going to see Aaliyah Patty all have the responsibility of trying to stop that right there. South Carolina's going inside to Aaliyah Boston.
There's Quadasha Hoppy on the wing, throws up a pass over to Sydney Roby. And Bree Beal hustling for the basketball. Destiny Henderson will push.
Well, we've talked a lot about South Carolina, but Texas A&M is the third leading the team that's third in the country in three-point field goal percentage. So South Carolina is going to have to spread their defense out and really make sure they contest every perimeter shot.
Yeah, foul called there on Jordan Nixon, who is one of their best three-point shooters and their point guard. They can't afford to get her in foul trouble, especially with the limited numbers for the Aggies.
Yeah, Jordan Nixon's got to get the Aggies organized. She's got to set her teammates up and really spread the wealth. Get the ball around to the open shot.
Boston back outside to Destiny Henderson, and a travel is called on Henderson. Gary Blair, he won a national championship at Texas A&M back in 2011. He is second among active coaches in SEC wins, second to Dawn Staley, in fact. But as of late for Texas A&M, it has been a struggle. They started the season 8-0. They've gone 2-5 since then, including losing their first 3 games of SEC play.
But I like how Gary Blair is approaching. He is looking in the mirror. He's like, well, it starts with me. If the players aren't getting it right now, he's got to find a different way to get them to understand what it is they need to do. He took a quote from Bill Parcells in his radio show. He said, you got to know, when you don't know what you don't know, it looks a lot different than when you don't know what you need to know.
Wow. On that note, timeout here for Texas A&M, South Carolina up early. SEC Network Women's Basketball is presented by Regions, the official bank of the SEC. Man, when these two teams met last time, it got intense. It was the final game of the regular season, and the SEC regular season title was up for grabs. Texas A&M, Gary Blair, they won that meeting 65-57 to pick up his first SEC regular season title. South Carolina had won the previous 7 meetings with the Aggies, and that was going into the SEC tournament.
Well, and it is important in looking at if they can refer back to what Texas A&M did last year, can they get that mojo going for them this season? They've dropped 3 SEC games in a row, but they're playing this year. Look, India Jones was the last player there, had 16 points and 14 rebounds. Where do they get that inside production from for the Aggies?
Let's shoot around today, guys. Gary Blair had a message for his team. We have the opportunity to play the #1 team in the country. Do you dread it or do you relish it? Now, I know my version is a little bit different than Gary Blair's and how he delivered it, but nonetheless, that timeout is not a surprise to me because he was frustrated a little bit with his team today in shoot-around because of slow starts. He feels like they have been getting behind in every single game that they've lost to start this SEC play. Maybe it grabs the attention of his team. Hurts to have Jordan Nixon, though, on the bench as she's the most vocal leader for this ball club.
Yeah, and Steffi, she's on the bench because she has already picked up 2 fouls in this game. We're only a couple minutes in so far, and she's their point guard.
Well, that was a good timeout by Gary Blair to settle his team. You're only down 2 because if you let South Carolina get on a run, you can get bulldozed.
Victoria Saxton, second chance will go. It's not just Aaliyah Boston that gives South Carolina size. Saxton and also Camila Cardoso.
Well, and their guards are big. You've got Bree Bill, who is a monster on the glass. You have Letitia Mee here. She's one of those players that can play inside and out. That's 6'4" versatility for South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina did have everyone at practice yesterday, but we were told Letitia Amihir will not be available for this game tonight, still working back from COVID protocols. Boston working hard. I mean, you see that mentality every play. Aaliyah Boston doesn't take a play off.
She doesn't, and I just keep seeing her get better and better every time she's on the floor. And what I really have noticed is it's that second jump. You see, she misses the shot, but she stays after it, and she's happy feet. This is a player of great size, but she's light on her feet, quick off the floor.
Drops in the first free throw, Aaliyah Boston. Mackenzie Green, number 23 in gray for Texas A&M. Remember, Jordan Nixon on the bench with 2 fouls. Hoppy, the step back 2. Quidasha Hoppy is coming off a season high 25 points against Florida.
Hoppy has had the hot hand, and especially with Destiny Pitts being out for Texas A&M, she's really picked up the offense of what the Aggies need.
Destiny Henderson will try the 3. There's Hoppy, bounces around into the hands of Aaliyah Boston.
Oh, I want Aaliyah Boston to look at that shot. She didn't have to take it, but at least look at it when she gets the ball outside the 3-point line.
She's shown more and more she can be a threat on the perimeter, but they love her under the basket too. Aaliyah Boston, 6 points.
And she's already got 4 rebounds.
Offensive foul on Texas A&M.
Yeah, Dawn Staley is moving Aaliyah Boston around more too. That creates more options, and it really is tough for defenses to defend a player with the versatility of Aaliyah Boston. And then you got to find her all over the floor.
Yeah, Aaliyah Boston had already proven herself as an amazing player, a 2-time Lisa Leslie Award winner, a 2-time All-American, and then just took her game to a whole nother level during this offseason. She put in a lot of extra work, and it's paying off.
Well, she put in extra work, and let me tell you, a sign of a great player that wants to be great, you seek out resources, and she spent some time with Tim Duncan over the summer as well. And I see a lot of the aspect of his game in what she does. The post patience that she plays with, the composure. She's really worked on the spacing when she blocks shots so she doesn't get in foul trouble as much. So all of that has come together. If there's any post player you want to really copy your game after, it'd be one like Tim Duncan, and it's good that she had that resource to learn from.
And what an amazing experience. And you saw right off the bat, I mean, she is a big reason why South Carolina has beaten 8 ranked opponents. They have not lost to a ranked opponent this season. That includes beating Stanford and UConn.
Ball movement, versatility, how many weapons, on this team right now, you've got 2 #1 recruiting classes 1 year before last, and this freshman class that is on the roster now.
It's a lot of talent in the gym for Dawn Staley, but they've learned to play with each other pretty well. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Henny puts up the shot. Aaliyah Boston, second chance.
Aaliyah Boston just doesn't stop working when the shot goes up, doesn't just try to box out the person that's next to her, but she clears space so that she can go get that rebound.
This is Kayla Wells for Texas A&M, one of their top scorers. And Destiny Henderson using that speed to get to the basket.
I don't know of a guard in the country that can push pace the way Destiny Henderson does. Dawn Staley talks about how she loves her speed and how when she's on the floor, the game goes to another level.
Yeah, Hitty was out for 3 games earlier this season in December, and Coach Staley told us, we missed that pace that she brings. It's tough when your point guard is not available.
When she's quick, but also quick with the basketball, that's dangerous. You watch her coming downhill. She just, a little hesitation, then an explosive speed by Green. She just gets those easy two.
Kayla Wells working on the block. Kicks back out to Jada Malone. And Mackenzie Green will reset for the Aggies. Desperate need of points, but running out of shot clock time. And a travel is called. Camila Cardoso is on the floor now. Aaliyah Boston also on the floor. So what changes when these two bigs are in the game?
Well, when Cardoso comes into the game, that allows Aaliyah Boston to play more of the 4. She can move around, be involved in ball screens and pick and pop. She can be at the top of the key. Look, she's a willing passer from the top of the offense for South Carolina.
Cardoso, the transfer from Syracuse. Oh, Boston just a magnet to the basketball, but missed the layup.
Oh, man, that would have been beautiful the way that she moved without the ball.
Hoppy for 2. And Jada Malone hits the floor hard, one of the freshmen on that Texas A&M roster.
I can tell you,
Aaliyah
Boston, after missing that last shot, she's thinking, I'm not missing another one. She plays with such determination.
Already 8 points for Aaliyah Boston here in the first quarter. Hoppy trying to find some space. It's hard to do against South Carolina's defense. And this will be Gamecock basketball.
You got post players that are 6'7" that can jump out and hard hedge on a ball screen because you have confidence they have the mobility to hard hedge out and then come back. That's when those turnovers start happening for the South Carolina defense.
Texas A&M has already turned the ball over 5 times. South Carolina just once so far tonight. Cardoso up off the glass. Texas A&M trying to find its way with its point guard on the bench in foul trouble.
But check out this offense, Courtney, at the top. You got 6'4" and 6'7" that are option at the free throw line area, and whoever gets it, the other one's diving hard to the basket. That's a terrific 1-2 punch from your 4-5.
And it's more impressive, too, to see Cardoso transfer into the South Carolina program, one that was loaded with talent, and find her way and get so comfortable with her teammates.
Well, and to have the ability for Aaliyah Boston and Cardoso to share space and understand when they're on the floor together that they can still spread the lane and work together. And they're great passers, so they connect very well post to post.
Right now it's just Cardoso on the floor. Lily Grissett is in the game for South Carolina. Bree Hall gets her the basketball.
So good to see Lily Grissett on the floor after getting injured in the SEC tournament last season.
And we saw her come back. Her first game of the season was in December against Maryland.
Now, this is a senior that came back. She's a super senior, came back for that extra year. Want to be a part of this special team.
Zia Cook's shot from the free throw line, a little bit off, and it'll be Texas A&M ball. 1:31 to go here in the first quarter. South Carolina off to a hot start behind 8 points from Aaliyah Boston.
I think the assignment was understood. Get the ball to Aaliyah Boston to start this game out. Now that they have established her, now it's time for Zia Cook, Destiny Henderson to get involved.
That's Shada Malone taking advantage of some paint points when Aaliyah Boston is not in the game.
A&M in the zone. South Carolina being patient, but they need to get the ball in on that logo. Ball doesn't have to be shot against the zone in the paint, but when it comes in, that buys shooters time when it is passed back out.
Hoppy trying to find her shot. She does for the second time. That's 4 points for Q Hoppy. 6-0 run for the Aggies. Zia Cook taking her time here. Yeah. Got to the basket, got herself to the free throw line. You know, Zia Cook is one of those playmakers too. She was part of that #1 recruiting class 2 years ago, has been in a bit of a slump, or was, but last 3 games she has come out of it.
Come out of it? She averaged about 18 points a game, so I'm sure that Dawn Staley's glad to see that. And Dawn said she didn't have a conversation with her. She let this junior work her way through this. So it was kind of like taking the training wheels off, because she's gone through slumps in her freshman and sophomore year, and they've had conversations. They didn't have to have that conversation this year, and Zia Cook is back.
Had 19 points and shot 53% from the field in their win over Kentucky on Sunday. Jordan Nixon back in the game for A&M, 5 seconds in the quarter. This is Hoppy. Oh, a lane to the basket, misses the layup, but going to the free throw line. They get Cardoso.
And this is one of the things Gary Blair wanted his team to work on, finishing quarters. Terrific execution by Q Hoppy, coming off the ball screen and getting around Cardoso to draw the foul instead of trying to shoot over 6'7".
Q Hoppy spent 4 seasons at St. John's. 2020 season cut short due to injury, only made 8 appearances, but has made her presence felt at Texas A&M. South Carolina up 6 at the end of the first quarter. Well, it's Texas A&M who ends the quarter on a 7-1 run. You see Gary Blair there in his 19th season as the Aggies head coach. He will be retiring at the end of this year. A couple weeks ago, we got to peek inside his office, and there's so much to look at, but a quote on the wall stands out above everything else.
That's the one I try to live by every day. Today, I gave all I had. What I kept, I lost forever. And every day, you fail, but you still try to give everything that you had. And sometimes you fall short. But baby, when you hit that home run, you feel it.
And that's how Gary Blair does approach life every day. I mean, his resume is impressive. But he told us, you know, Texas A&M coming in on this 3-game losing streak, they're struggling right now. But he said, I wouldn't have come back to coach this group if I didn't believe in him. And you better believe he is giving everything he can to get Texas A&M season back on track.
every time we talk to him, he talks about what his players are capable of doing. They may not be doing it all right now, but you see that plus sign on his hand. He has a positive perspective in really how he's going to help this team to get off this losing skid and get back on winning ways, because if there's anybody that knows how to win, it is Coach Gary Blair.
16 straight 20-plus win seasons. He's a member of 7 Halls of Fame, including the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, and he was nominated for the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame back on December 21st.
Well, he's always a teacher of the game. When his team was in Knoxville, he took them to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame up on the Summit Hill.
Jordan Nixon looking for the shot. How big was it that Texas A&M did not have Jordan Nixon for most of that first quarter? She had 2 fouls.
Well, they were able to close the gap with Nixon not in the game, but also remember, Aaliyah Boston went out as well. While she was on the floor, South Carolina was scored on 8 of 12 possessions. When she's off the floor, only scored at 1 out of 3.
Yeah, you see just what a big difference Aaliyah Boston makes. She's on the floor right now. That's number 4 in white. Bree Hall on the wing, back up top to Henderson.
A&M zone, really trying to crowd the paint.
South Carolina's got to take a shot. That's a 2 from Destiny Henderson. They call it a 3, but I thought her foot was on the line. They give her a 3.
That's good patience by Destiny Henderson. And again, talking about time and score, awareness. That's something she's working on with Dawn Staley.
Kayla Wells, A&M's leading scorer. Trying to go under the basket, able to draw the foul. Wells has only taken, that's just her 2nd shot tonight.
As the clock's running down, you take a look here. Destiny's right foot, looks like to me that's on the line for that to be the 2-point shot.
They should be able to go back and replay that at the monitor next time we take a pause. Kayla Wells drops in the bucket.
Yeah, we didn't call Kayla Wells' name too much in that first quarter. She's got to really be part of the action offensively. She's got to be more aggressive in looking for her scoring opportunities.
Now, Gary Blair told us there's not just going to be an open shot for Kayla Wells. They are going to have to work hard to get open against South Carolina's defense.
Well, she's such a great 3-point shooter. People are going to run her off the 3-point line, but she's got that aspect to her game to be able to go off the bounce.
They ran a lot of plays, guys, for her in shoot-around, but one thing to note now is Bree Beal is on the bench, and she was guarding Kayla Wells in that whole entire first quarter. Maybe she can get going here to start the second.
Well,
yeah,
Bree Beal is
defense.
on you.
Wow.
That's there's a reason. She usually gets the assignment of the best player of the opponent. So there is a reason why Kayla Wells wasn't getting a lot of opportunities. Looks at the basket in the first quarter.
Oh, Jordan Nixon is blocked by Boston. Point guard versus a center. Hoppy for 3. Q Hoppy has 8 points to lead Texas A&M.
Look, Texas A&M isn't going to go away. The defense of South Carolina is going to be there. You see Nixon get her shot blocked, but she recovers the basketball, creates another opportunity and dishes it there, finds the hot hand for Q Hoppy.
Hoppy 3 for 8 as Aaliyah Boston picks up her first foul. They go inside to Malia Johnson. Johnson had a great game, a career-high 13 points, 7 rebounds. She was 4 of 6 from the field in their last outing against Florida.
Yeah, she had 13 points, and Gary Blair liked the offensive production for there. But I'm going to tell you, defense keeps you on the floor for the Aggies.
Lily Grissett battling, and it'll be a jump ball. Possession arrow pointing to Texas A&M.
Grissett got the right spot, but you know what's going to drive Dawn Staley crazy is the missed bunnies, the missed layups inside. That's easy money right there.
South Carolina has led by as many as 12. A&M has cut it to 2. There's an easy bucket and Aaliyah Boston's first points in the second quarter.
Yeah, till Texas A&M finds a way to stop that, you've got to give the ball to Aaliyah Boston.
Jordan Nixon with the response. Maybe her offense is coming to life. Boston downloaded Grissett, swatted away by MJ Johnson.
Right now, Texas A&M, their confidence is starting to build. They're starting to get back. They're starting to forget those previous 3 losses, and they're starting to believe they can compete with South Carolina.
Boston in the paint.
Domination. Aaliyah Boston on the glass and finishing down low.
She has 8 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds. Kayla Wells underneath. Texas A&M keeps it to a 2-point lead by South Carolina. Zaya Cook short on the shot from the elbow.
Texas A&M can tie it up. Keep an eye on Kadasha Hoppy.
Jordan
See, I don't
Nixon's
think that's
3
what-
won't go.
I don't think that's what Gary Blair wants. He wants Jordan Nixon to set his offense up. She needs to go 70-30. 70 time for everybody else, 30% of the time, that's her time.
And Texas A&M's making it hard to get the ball into Aaliyah Boston. There's Q Hoppy with the pull-up. A&M had hit 4 straight shots. Now they've missed 2 in a row. Boston stepping into it. Yes! From deep.
That's why I wanted to look at it. Every time she touches it, she doesn't have to pull the trigger, but at least look at it. So when you catch one that feels good, Aaliyah Boston, number 4 for the South Carolina, let it go from the top of the key.
You can already see why she's the front runner for National Player of the Year. 15 points, 9 rebounds.
It's done.
Tonight.
To me, hands down, Aaliyah Boston, look, that's National Player of the Year right there.
10 straight double-doubles now. She just got a rebound on the other end.
Aaliyah Boston, National Player of the Year, leading candidate in her bag from 3. She's been all over the glass. A&M has got to find an answer for number 4. You better put, Drea, 2 or 3 or 4 players on her, and you've got to send 2 to try to box her out. You've got to make sure that anybody else can get a rebound, but you don't want it to be coming to Aaliyah Boston.
Why is that? Because look at her numbers, Carolyn Peck. She already has her 10th straight double-double with 15 points and 10 rebounds. She is on the list. Look at the names on this list, starting with Sylvia Fowles.
Well, and I expect Aaliyah Boston to keep moving up and accumulating the double-doubles the way that she's playing right now. And a lot of it, yes, we talk about the energy, the talent that Aaliyah Boston has, both offensively and defensively, but the energy that she plays with. She's in great shape. She's dropped about 20 pounds coming into this season. She looks like she's going to have to go change her jersey. Looks like there's some blood on it there, but she plays with energy. This woman has terrific energy, great feet, intensity, and she's so competitive.
Peck, you talked about Boston being in tip-top shape. Well, there's a reason why last season against South Dakota was the spark of a turning point for her fitness and her nutrition. She completely changed her diet. 1 gallon of water, 1 gallon of water a day, 3 meals, no more dairy. Since then, she's dropped 23 pounds, 8% of her body fat. And you talked about being quick on her feet. She's increased her vertical by 6 inches since that game, and is now in the top 5 fastest on this team, according to their strength coach, Molly Benetti.
And I'll tell you, Steffi, a lot of times it's not until after your junior year that players really understand, okay, I better be in great shape, because they're thinking about the league. Not Aaliyah Boston. She wants to be great in college. She wants to be great right now.
This is Bree Beal driving, and it's an offensive foul on Bree Beal. But Steffi talked about the weight room improvement. The numbers show that for sure in several different areas for Aaliyah Boston. Vertical, her 3/4 court sprint, and her deadlift have all increased.
Her vertical improvement, is that almost 7 inches? Wow. I don't think I could jump 17 of where she started. I couldn't jump over a credit card when I was in college.
Kayla Wells driving to the basket. Texas A&M has trailed by as many as 12 points. How are they keeping it to 4 right now?
Well, it has a lot to do with their defense, and when they're forcing South Carolina to shoot the ball anywhere that's not by a player named Aaliyah Boston, it's been tough. And then offensively, they've been aggressive, and you look now, going back to the free throw line, Kayla Wells, they are attacking right now, not just settling for that 3-point shot.
Kayla Wells is 3rd in the SEC in free throws made this season. Texas A&M 4 for 4 tonight. Got them both, and Wells has 6 points now. 2nd leading scorer for Texas A&M tonight.
Now, Dawn Staley has gone to a shooter. Destiny Littleton has come into the game. As long as Texas A&M is going to be in that zone, you've got to keep an eye down in the right-hand corner. Number 11, Destiny Littleton. Look, that's the sniper for South Carolina.
Her season high is 10 points against Duke. She's played limited minutes this year. There's a lot of talent on South Carolina's roster. Isaiah Cook is a scorer too that only has 1 point right now for South Carolina. There's Littleton. Cardoso trying to use that height, but is called for an over-the-back foul. Her 2nd.
I don't know if I like that call or not. When you're 6'7", you have the reach. Maybe she was on the back there. Okay, Jada Malone, you did your job. You boxed out there, caused her to come over your back.
And Jada Malone, the freshman, got the start in their last game against Florida, but only played 7 minutes, has 3 starts on the season.
And Gary Blair said he's got to get more from his post game. This is a guard-oriented offense, Texas A&M, but they've got capable post players that have got to contribute to the offense as well. Now, Leah Patty is a player that can score inside and out for Texas A&M. We haven't seen much of her.
And she's only played 3 minutes tonight.
Yeah, this pace fits Texas A&M. Yeah, South Carolina likes to play with pace and get up and down the floor. Gary Blair right now is managing the floor and keeping his team in striking distance.
They've got to hurry, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Back to Q Hoppy, top of the key. Johnson underneath for the rebound. Now Texas A&M, several chances there.
They were battling on the glass. Look, the Aggies are not going away.
Gary Blair told us when we talked to him yesterday, he wanted his team to be right there with South Carolina. Don't let them get too far ahead. And A&M only trailing by 2 as we approach halftime. And South Carolina ran out of time. The shot clock expired. 2.7 seconds left in the half.
Let me tell you, with this, you're talking about how Gary Blair wanted to be in striking distance. Going in at halftime right now, do you know what kind of confidence that gives the players in the mastermind of Gary Blair of going, okay, this is what coach said we needed to do. If we could stay close, hey, look, we're in this thing. Because Texas A&M, they're looking to break this 3-game losing streak, playing very well so far on this Thursday night.
.9 seconds in the half. And Jordan Nixon won't attempt the shot, but Texas A&M after trailing by 12. Long one. So we'll see how Texas A&M comes out here if they have a little momentum trying to end a 3-game losing streak. They have started 0-3 in SEC play for the first time since 2004, Gary Blair's first season at Texas A&M. And immediately a bucket from Kayla Wells.
And now
First time we've been tied.
Well, South Carolina continued to go to Aaliyah Boston. Zia Cook's got to find the basket. She's 0 for 9 in that first half.
Destiny Henderson for 3.
You know, Courtney, Dawn Staley said this team's got to not be afraid to shoot the ball. So you see Destiny Henderson now willing to pull the trigger. Zia Cook, if she can get a catch and shoot and get into a rhythm, that could get the offense for the rest of South Carolina going, other than Aaliyah Boston.
Aaliyah Boston already has her 10th straight double-double. She got that in the second quarter. Bree Beal with the 3. Victoria Saxton on the boards and is going to the free throw line. Steffi, you were able to catch up with Gary Blair coming out of the locker room?
Yeah, Gary, we really like the pace of the game so far because they really slowed South Carolina's transition offense down, and that was kind of a goal going into this game. But I talked about him defending Aaliyah Boston. He said, she's the best player in the country. My guards have to dig down and make it hard for her and make her more uncomfortable. And most importantly, though, again, Jordan Nixon, he talked about her picking up those early fouls and how it hurt the team because she's a leader. She's so much of a leader for this team, so she's got to stay in it and play with confidence here in this third quarter.
Well, and Steffi, Gary Blair has talked about Jordan Nixon has got to be him on the court. And so when your point guard's sitting next to you, that can make it kind of difficult. But Gary Blair's got to be pleased with the amount of time Nixon had to sit on the bench, and his team, they were just down 2 at the half.
Jordan Nixon picked up 2 fouls within the first 2 minutes of this ball game.
And Courtney, one of the things that you and I talked about was number 32 for Texas A&M, Aaliyah Patty. That's some more size for Texas A&M inside, but it doesn't matter. They've gone outside Destiny Henderson.
8 straight points for South Carolina as Henny hits from the outside again. Timeout called. South Carolina up 34-26. Well, South Carolina has already scored 8 points in 1 minute and 3 seconds. They love the third quarter. They score more points in this quarter than in any other one. And Destiny Henderson has been that spark coming out of the locker room. She's crushed 2 threes.
Like we talked about, Dawn Staley said you got to be willing and ready to take the shot. And Destiny Henderson, message delivered. Coming out, listen, when you're coming out of the locker room in the third quarter, you want to deliver the first punch. Well, Destiny Henderson for South Carolina, number 3, has done exactly that.
In 2 seasons as the starting point guard, you see her numbers, and this is a player that had to wait her turn behind Ty Harris, who was a fantastic point guard for South Carolina, helped them win a national championship. And she didn't transfer, she stuck with it and has become the lead point guard for South Carolina and Dawn Staley.
I asked Dawn Staley, what did she like about what Destiny Henderson was doing right now? She talked about push with pace. She talked about her being more aggressive. And she just wanted her to continue to improve on the when and where. Where the win right now is to take the 3 coming out of that locker room in the third quarter, and she has knocked her shots down.
Yeah, we asked Dawn, do you think Destiny Henderson is an X factor? And she said, absolutely. I feel like she flies under the radar because of all the attention Aaliyah Boston gets. But she also told us she felt like they hadn't tapped into all of Henny yet and what Destiny Henderson could do for this team.
Well, she said that, talking about a Gamecock, she said she wanted to ruffle her feathers a little bit because she knows that's what the opponents are going to want to do. So she's trying to ruffle her feathers now so that when that happens, as the season goes along and in the tournament, she's ready to handle that kind of situation.
Being around Destiny Henderson over her career at South Carolina, she has a very steady personality. I mean, is that something you want in a point guard?
Absolutely. But there are times, though, when your team needs a spark, you need a little bit of emotion. You need a little fire coming out of your point guard. But Henny is calm, cool, and collected.
And beautifully feeds Aaliyah Boston the basketball. Boston's total climbing and climbing. 17 points, 11 rebounds.
But I think Destiny Henderson absolutely is the X factor because there's no true backup point guard. Remember, freshman Raven Johnson is out with an ACL. They've had to convert Letitia Amihere to be a backup point guard because Destiny Henderson right there, that's the point guard that South Carolina has and has to depend on to get Aaliyah Boston the basketball.
And you talk about them converting Letitia Amihere to the point guard position. She is unavailable today, still working her way back. She was at practice yesterday, but not able to play in this game for South Carolina. And that'll be an offensive foul on Henderson. There's Letitia Amihere. She did a really nice job running the point for South Carolina for those 3 games when Destiny Henderson was out with injury.
Well, when Raven Johnson went down, then Dawn Staley started playing with the idea. It was right before the Clemson game. And then when they went over to the Bahamas to play, Letitia Amihere spent a lot of time playing the point. Remember over there? They knocked off Connecticut. She felt right at home running the point and handling the basketball.
And that's something Gary Blair noticed too. He said even when they've had problems with COVID, they've had players step up, and that has helped South Carolina's depth even more, which makes them even more of a team that you don't want to face.
They're just loaded with talent. They got a first team and another first team sitting on the bench.
Victoria Saxton.
Patience by Isaiah Cook. You know she wants to get her shot going, but recognizes right now what's the best option. Get the ball inside. Her time will come.
Possession arrow pointing to South Carolina. They have scored 12 straight points. Texas A&M only has 2 points in this third quarter.
You talked about it. South Carolina loves the third quarter. That's where, and I'm sure Dawn Staley talks about, listen, this is where we've got to flex right now. And she wants to be able to go to her bench so that the starters then could have some time to rest to put that punch in the fourth quarter.
Q Hoppy, and one opportunity coming.
Texas A&M will not go away. Q Hoppy, South Carolina a little late getting back, and Hoppy keeping the pressure on, just continuing. Look, this is the best way to score against a strong defensive team like South Carolina. Score before they can get set.
Victaria Saxton picks up her third foul, and Hoppy can't finish the three-point play, but she is Texas A&M's leading scorer tonight with 10. South Carolina led by 2 at the half. Destiny Henderson came out and hit a couple of threes, and now the Gamecocks on a 12-2 run. Seven seconds. Zia Cook, her first field goal. She was 0 for 10.
Yeah, Zia Cook's been trying to get her shot going off the bounce. You get a shooter into the rhythm off a catch and shoot, she can heat up.
Response from Jordan Nixon. Jada Malone got a hand on that basketball. South Carolina up by 11 right now.
It's been a good quarter for South Carolina. First it was Destiny Henderson, now Zia Cook is getting in on the action. South Carolina.
Eight seconds on the shot clock. Pass is swatted away by Q Hoppy.
Now that's the last thing you want to see after a timeout, is to turn the ball over after you spent time drawing up the play that you want to run.
Jordan Nixon at the elbow. Nixon with 6 points. South Carolina's hit its last 4 shots. 10 seconds on that shot clock. And Cardoso is gonna be fouled from behind.
With Jordan Nixon coming off the ball screen, and she severs, she gets the defense on her backside so that she's isolated on Camila Cardoso, and then just has enough space to get that shot up and over that 6-7 reach.
That's the third foul on Sydney Roby for Texas A&M.
I think Texas A&M, they've got another run in them. It took them a little while to get started in that first quarter, and then they started chipping away. Michaela Wells has got to get involved. Again, going back to Hoppy, and now Jordan Nixon, that's been able to play through having that early foul trouble.
Oh, the easy take in and out. Texas A&M had hit its last 3 shots.
Just on the reverse, and now Malone ready to battle with Aaliyah Boston inside.
Guys, I was just in that Texas A&M huddle, and it was actually Destiny Pitts who made the trip, but she's unable to play today, who really challenged Jordan Nixon. As we see Aaliyah Boston with the block but to be more aggressive, to get to the rim. In the huddle, Destiny Pitts told her team, look, we took their best shot, their first hit in that third quarter. Let's respond. And she really pointed at Jordan Nixon to get going.
A lot of times when you hear it from a teammate, that's where your ears perk up a little bit more. And this team has a lot of confidence in Jordan Nixon. With as many game winners or games that she has been able to close out, she is one of the players that can step up for A&M.
South Carolina's defense is going to get the stop there as the shot clock expires. Again, as you heard Steffi say, Destiny Pitts and Sahara Jones are both unavailable for this game tonight. Pitts did travel but not able to play.
Well, and Destiny Pitts is a scorer now. That's a double-figure score for A&M that's not available.
They swing it to Zaya Cook. Rebound, Bree Beal. In all kinds of traffic, and they call a jump ball possession arrow to the Gamecocks.
I love it when you have guards that are willing to get in there and rebound. Bree Beal didn't just stand and watch on the perimeter, but crashes the glass.
Aaliyah Boston on take two. Boston's got 8 offensive rebounds tonight. She sure knows how to share the basketball too, Camila Cardoso.
Well, you've got a player to throw it to has the hands like Cardoso. She catches just about anything that's thrown up around her area. And I like the way that Aaliyah Boston saw ahead of time. As soon as she got it and attacked the basket, when the defense was going to help up, she knew where Cardoso was going to be and delivers it right in the area where Cardoso can grab it and go to the finish.
Camila Cardoso spent 1 season at Syracuse, was the ACC Co-Defensive Player of the Year, the Freshman of the Year, averaged 13 points a game, 8 rebounds a game.
And she averages almost 7 points a game for South Carolina. You may not think that that's a major impact. It's huge because we talked about when Cardoso comes into the game, it moves Aaliyah Boston to the 4, can move her around. There's another big target inside that teams have to worry about bringing a double team. That was a great get for South Carolina.
Cardoso is one of several impact transfers that have made a big difference in the SEC this year.
Well, you look, Alexis Dye has been huge for Tennessee, being another paint presence. Sasha Goforth transferring to Arkansas. We see Hugh Hoppy with Texas A&M and Mingo Young with Mississippi State. And look at the 2 coming into LSU, Alexis Morris and Autumn Newby, and what Kim Mulkey has been able to do in Baton Rouge has been huge.
Yeah, she really pushed this South Carolina team too. That was one of the best games so far this young SEC portion of the season. And you mentioned Alexis Dye for Tennessee. By the way, Tennessee Vanderbilt will be coming up at the top of the hour after this game is finished. We'll get you to Nashville for that in-state rivalry.
Well, Tennessee having Alexis Dye, Kean Green, and Tamari Key to be able to rotate inside. They can stretch the floor also with Sarah Puckett. And the Lady Vols are getting the ball in the paint. That's been successful for the Big Orange.
In case you're wondering, South Carolina and Tennessee play on February 20th. Not that I've looked it up, but I can't wait for that game.
I have. I've looked it up. I'm looking forward to watching that one. Tennessee sits atop the SEC right now, undefeated so far.
And Tennessee beat this Texas A&M team who was ranked a week ago tonight in Knoxville. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. South Carolina has scored 21 points in this quarter. Looking for more. Kayla Wells off the screen. And Jada Malone ties it up. Texas A&M only trailed by 2 points at the half, but they have been outscored 21-8 here in the third quarter.
Keep an eye on number 5, Jordan Nixon, for Texas A&M. Gary Blair trusts her in a lot of late clock situations he has drawn up just for her.
Kayla Wells gets blocked by Cardoso. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Mackenzie Green with the bank in. The kick, Sanaya Rivers. Shot out in South Carolina. What a third quarter. They outscored Texas A&M 21-10. When we come back, yeah, there's talent on the floor, but what about the talent off the floor? We got a pup date for you when we come back to Columbia. Corner to conference play, which means we are one step closer to the NCAA championship coming in March. And Dawn Staley has already put together an impressive resume for her career, but also for this season. She's taken down 4 head coaches that have a national championship, and a win tonight would be a 5th, as Gary Blair won a national title back in 2011. Of course, Dawn Staley took this South Carolina program to its first national championship in 2017. She knows how to coach talent on the court, and she also knows how to coach talent off the court as of training her pup, Champ, who she got right after winning that national championship. And why do we bring up Champ Staley? Because there was an article about Champ Staley this week that I read. That's how big this dog is. He's at news conferences. You'll see him at shoot-around. He's a part of the South Carolina program, so much so there was a press article about him.
She also has, Champ has his own Twitter account. So you got to follow Champ on Twitter.
Yeah, he made his way to the Bahamas for their tournament. Took a picture in the chair.
I was down there and I saw Dawn, and then here came Champ. I'm like, how did Champ get through customs?
Look, Champ is a mainstay at shoot-around too. This is one of my favorite pictures of me and Champ. Obviously, we couldn't be at this game, but he's at shoot-around and he knows exactly when to not be on the court so the team can practice.
I think I got a text that said Champ missed you because you weren't at shoot-around this morning.
He told me, Courtney, just to let you know.
Oh,
shoot-around
thank
today.
you, Steffi.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. But I actually was talking to Dawn about Champ, and side coach with the 3. After that national championship that they won, Dawn Staley joked with her team about getting a tattoo, and she actually never followed through with it because she said Champ is her permanent tattoo. That's why she got Champ.
Aw, it's a reminder of her national
It
championship.
is, yes.
Champ is like a little person, and Champ has his own spot in her office. He goes everywhere that Dawn is, just about. You can always expect to see Champ right behind her.
That is your pup date for this evening. I'm just kidding. It's brought to you by. Just kidding. South Carolina, something clicked in the locker room. They only scored 9 points in that second quarter, scored 21 points in the third quarter. They seemed more in a flow offensively.
Well, I think that players felt the freedom. When your coach comes in and says at halftime, listen, you need to shoot the ball within the offense. Don't just come in jacking, but within a flow, timing, taking good shots. And Dawn Staley told Steffi Sorensen, these shots are going to fall. They weren't falling in the second quarter. They started falling in the third and now carrying over into the fourth.
Kayla Wells at the free throw line right now for Texas A&M.
Yeah, Kayla Wells, Q Hoppy, and Jordan Nixon are going to really have to get things going and have to be aggressive, especially off ball screens and ball movement. And if they can get the ball to the third side, what I mean by that, start on the right side, make it reverse and come back, that makes the South Carolina defense have to shift. That would then give some open looks for Texas A&M.
Again, Texas A&M only trailed by 2 at the half. They tied it at 26, and then South Carolina used a 12-0 run to jump ahead. Sanaya Rivers in the corner, overshoots it, but Aaliyah Boston there for the rebound. Jump ball, possession arrow to Carolina.
Jada Malone got very fortunate because she did not box out Aaliyah Boston on that backside. The freshman's got to know and anticipate when that shot goes up, even if you don't get the rebound, you've got to keep Aaliyah Boston off the glass.
Texas A&M will actually have the basketball. Wells looking for space. Kayla Wells has 9 points. Averages 17 a game. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Offensive foul on A&M. Malone.
A&M trying to attack South Carolina off the bounce. The ball it's not moving fast enough. And Camila Cardoso, hands up, moving your feet, able to draw the charge.
That's 2 fouls on Jada Malone. Kick out to Zaya Cook. That foul was on Jada Malone. That's her 3rd.
So Malone is trying to not repeat the same mistake before of not boxing out Aaliyah Boston. That time got called for the foul.
Texas A&M keeping an eye on those fouls. Sydney Roby, who's one of their other bigs, she has 3 fouls right now, not on the floor for A&M. Sanaya Rivers. Nixon all the way through.
But see, I don't think that's the option. That's the best answer for Texas A&M to just dribble down and take a shot. You can dribble in, make 2 guard you, then pass it out, make the defense have to move, not just trying to go one-on-one.
Gary Blair talked to us about wanting Jordan Nixon to play like she was back at home. She's from New York, as if she was playing in a pickup game and reading what the defense was happening.
Yeah,
was
you
doing.
Play like you played at Rooker Park.
Destiny Henderson, okay. Henny's got 12.
South Carolina is just so good on both ends of the floor. First, you're going to see the defense and the block by Aaliyah Boston, and then going down on the other end, Destiny Henderson picking her spots, finding opportunities to attack. And there, look, the little guard, number 3, Destiny Henderson with the sky hook.
Henderson 5 for 9, and Destiny Henderson had not been shooting well in SEC play, only 26% from the field.
I think when Destiny Henderson is patient and finds her right spot, she's money. She doesn't have to force things, just to take her time right there. That's smooth. I like that shot. That's a good shot for Destiny Henderson.
Victoria Saxton with the board and the putback. And Texas A&M calls timeout. 6 straight points for South Carolina. A 56-35 lead for the #1 team in the nation. Outside of the SEC, they play UConn for a second time this season, coming up on January 27th.
I don't know what Dawn Staley was thinking with all of these non-conference games that she's played, other than she is wanting to prepare her team to make a run for a national championship. That's what you do if you want to play it during season, so that when you hit conference, it's not new. It's not like overwhelming. It's what you've done all season long.
Yeah, they're used to having to battle, and as you said, it was a chance to regroup after that loss to Missouri. Dawn said they looked mentally tired. She felt like the team really tried and really battled in that game against Missouri, where they lost in overtime to the unranked Tigers. But she said they fought even more since that loss, and that energy is propelling them forward.
Look, you don't get a championship by just saying, I'm undefeated. You have to, in the regular season, you've got to go win in the tournament. So this time in the regular season is when you prepare for the tournament. A lot is made about teams that go undefeated. Well, let me tell you, if you take that one loss, that helps you to propel in March and April. Look, she's played Gino, Tara Vanderveer, Kim Mulkey. She's the only coach that has beaten all 3 of those in the same season.
South Carolina 58-4 as the #1 team in the nation under Dawn Staley. Zia Cook, she started 0 for 10. She has found that shot.
When she gets her feet set and gets zoned in, she's deadly from the 3-point line.
All 10 of her points have come here in the second half. And the scoring drought continues for Texas A&M. It's over 4 minutes without a bucket. Just out of the reach of Cook. So I'm kind of curious, Carolyn, your thoughts. We've seen a couple of different big lineups for South Carolina. Do you like Boston with Cardoso, or do you like Boston and Saxton better?
That's like asking me if I like ketchup with French fries. Or do you
the
want...
answer is yes.
Yes. But you can put anybody with Aaliyah Boston. What she allows you to do is play in so many different ways because of the versatility of her game. You put Cardoso in there. You also could have Aaliyah Boston on the floor with Lily Grissett. That's like having a post and 4 guards on the floor. South Carolina can mix up how they play.
Oh, Destiny Henderson by herself. Dropped it in! 14 straight points for the Gamecocks. Q Hoppy on the other end.
South Carolina, if they all get clicking on the same night, figure out how to pick their poison, where they want the shots to come from. They've got talent at all 5 positions and from the bench.
Jordan Nixon going to the free throw line. Destiny Henderson came out of the locker room saying, "Let's go."
And cool, calm, and collected. If she's got time from the 3-point line, That's what number 3 does, Destiny Henderson. She knocks those shots down.
You hear the applause from the crowd. Victoria Saxton, Destiny Henderson take a seat. Saxton with 10, Henderson with 15.
Well, you brought it up, Courtney, that Tennessee-South Carolina game. These are two teams that are similar in terms of paint points and getting on the glass. That's going to be a battle when these two teams meet later in February.
Yeah, it is ingrained in their DNA, defense and rebounding for South Carolina and Tennessee. And if you haven't seen Tennessee, make sure you stick with us here on the SEC Network after we're done in Columbia. We'll get you to Nashville. You can see Tennessee, who is a top 5 team now, first time since 2015. They're going to take on Vanderbilt.
And let me tell you, that's a scrappy Vanderbilt team. Shay Ralph has come to Nashville, and she has built a system these kids believe in. They play hard. Players that haven't gotten much time in the past getting time right now. And then Jordan Cambridge, their point guard, one of the best defenders in the league, in the top 5, top 10 in steals in the nation.
And again, that's coming up next. Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Eric Freed and Tamika Catchings on the call for that one. Have you seen some improvement, some difference from Texas A&M compared to what we saw in those 3 SEC losses to start the conference season?
Well, early on in the first half, the way they took care of the ball, especially in that second quarter, that was good. Also, closing out, they had opportunities at the end of that second quarter to make plays. That was an area of improvement that Gary Blair was looking for. But when South Carolina made their run, that's where, and especially not having a player, remember, Destiny Pitts is not available to play right now, and that is somebody that Hoppy or Nixon could come down off the screen and attack and then kick out to Pitts. That's Pitts we're looking at there because she is a high percentage shooter. Gary Blair talks about her being the sniper for Texas A&M.
Hopefully Pitts will be back soon. She's just working her way out of COVID protocols. There's a process to coming back. You can't just jump back into a game. Texas A&M, this is what they have coming up. Auburn, Ole Miss, Missouri, Mississippi State, and Arkansas.
There's no easy night in the SEC. Every night it's going to be a challenge. And the thing I love about the SEC this year is you don't turn on the TV and say, this team's going to win, I'm not going to watch. You got to watch it because you don't know what is going to happen in the SEC.
Yeah, our first game of the night on this triple header here on the SEC Network, it was Florida and Auburn, and it was a 68-63 decision in the final seconds of that game.
Yeah, Auburn got in a little bit of foul trouble, and Kiki Smith, hey, she came back for that extra year at Florida, and she is getting her money's worth from it, playing as hard as she can in her last season.
Yeah, 19 points for her tonight in the win for the Gators. So Lily Grissett at the free throw line at Texas A&M now on an 8-0 run. We told you what's on deck for Texas A&M. Here's what's coming up for South Carolina. We're going to see that Arkansas matchup. It's been put on ESPN2 that's coming up on Sunday. And then we told you UConn is just 2 games away on January 27th.
And that's going to be fun to watch as well. Not having Paige Beckers back, but you're going to have Avina Westbrook, Kristen Williams, Olivia Nelson-Adota. UConn is a team that is going to try to battle defensively, run in transition. Can they rebound with South Carolina?
And remember, they've already had one look at South Carolina. They've played them earlier this season around Thanksgiving, and it was South Carolina winning.
Yeah, and that game was close all the way till the end, and then South Carolina in the fourth quarter was able to create a little separation. And after that game, Gino talked about he felt like his team had gotten worn down from South Carolina's defense. What will be the case now in January?
South Carolina led by only 2 points at the half. Texas A&M tied it at 26, and then a 12-0 run propelled the Gamecocks forward, and they have not looked back here in the second half. Out of bounds off of Texas A&M. It will stay with South Carolina. No doubt watching the South Carolina team, though, they're the #1 team in the nation for a reason. They are tested, and they have depth and talent at all positions.
And they are tremendous on the glass. They're beating Texas A&M rebounding-wise 30-52.
And Texas A&M will let this one run out. South Carolina loves to play in Colonial Life. That is 18 straight home victories for the South Carolina Gamecocks and their 16th win on the season. Aaliyah Boston